Doing just fine. How are you, Chad?
I am great, and welcome to another episode of Chasing Nightmares. Um, we've got some video that I wanted to show. My camera's kind of difficult here. Hopefully Gwen got those uploaded. If not, we can always do it next time. But so, how was your week been going?
My weekend was pretty hectic and had to do a lot of housework this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
housework.
yeah. I
Yeah,
had a shower go bad on me. I had to work on a little bit, and then all of a sudden the guts in my toilet went bad, so I had to go fix it too. But
that's
yeah,
fair.
it's been
Well,
one
I've
of those weekends.
done lots of that kind of work. Yeah, I started a new job myself. And believe it or not, similar work. I'm a maintenance guy for a it's like a service center, I think, for like semis or something like that.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, but a lot to learn and stuff, and it's been a pretty hectic week. But it's always hectic,
Right.
here in my life. It's just never a boring moment. So you have an event coming up pretty soon.
Actually, I've got my podcast coming up next weekend with Letriana Brown from All Access Network
Oh, yeah.
Television.
Hey,
Yep.
and there's the producer, Miss Gwen
Ms.
Jones.
Gwen.
Hey,
How are
and
you?
we have a show on Thursday nights. So yeah.
Right. No, it's true. Yeah. So now, you've been abducted and you've been kidnapped and forced to come over to our network. Correct? Mhm.
He
I mean, you had a show on
volunteered, poor thing.
had a show on another network, but then man, that lighting's terrible. But then so you kind of came over to our network, and now you guys got a show, and I'm gonna have to check that out still. That sounds
He
like you guys have
actually
fun doing
still has his own thing, but he
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
collaborates with us. We share all his stuff.
Yeah.
He shares that, but then him and I have a show. So,
it. Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
so yeah.
Very cool. Okay.
So I have it loaded whenever you're ready. So just say
Okay.
the word.
So the couple, and I sent you another one on Facebook. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Okay. I got one
Um,
called Hooded Figure.
Yeah, no, that's pretty. It was just an interesting clip. That was at a location in Roseburg, and the claims were off the charts about there being apparitions seen, of course, and these monsters is what they quoted them as. And there we go. And and oh man, I've got to get a different lighting in here. It's terrible. So there were police reports made out about these whatever they were happening in the cemetery. So we showed up to the location, and that where the camera's sitting stationary facing a gravestone, and that was a gravestone to an individual. It's pretty there's a lot of urban legend linked to her gravesite, and there was actually there were sacrifices on the grave. There was a cat that had been sacrificed.
Yeah.
Only time I've ever seen that, and there was a thing of cornmeal and a thing of urine, looked like urine on the gravesite, and so it's supposed to be a witch and all this, and have demons at her beckoning, and so what this clip comes in because I was there to break down the equipment, and I had my back to the background, and the camera picks up something quite odd in the footage. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It'll be a surprise for everybody then. Yeah, there's this figure that, well, pretty self-explanatory, but and there is cussing in it because, like I said, when I'm out and about on investigations, I especially ones like that, I don't really conduct myself very
Nicely.
nicely, yeah, nicely.
He
So
uses language.
yeah.
Here, we'll put this up. This will be better. There you go.
No, okay, there you go. That's that.
There you
that's
go.
it. Okay, so yeah, this thing anyway, you'll see something odd in the background, and I'm unaware it's there, the whole time, which happens in a lot of my footage. Like there's something being captured, I'm unaware of that it's even there. So yeah, that I think that rules out the whole psychic thing, where I'm concerned because I don't know anything.
All right, you ready for me to pull it up?
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
All right, look, you got to give me a second. It doesn't always work like I want it to.
Interesting. Yeah, well, it is a very interesting piece of footage, and also something to take note. There's like a blanket of leaves on the ground out at this location, and whenever you move, there was like a rustling sound. So there's no sound coming off of whatever this thing is, behind us. If it'll play, it may not. The Gremlins.
Sometimes it takes a little bit for StreamYard to play things anymore.
Probably does. Yeah, it probably takes a minute to upload. Is it playing on your end or anything? No, nothing.
No, give me a second.
On my...
Okay. It might be the format. Now the format's in a kind of a strange one. I think is it MP4? I don't know.
You should play MP4s.
Okay. It's just the regular technical difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it seems like when you start to load your intro and stuff, it takes a few seconds for it to kick in anymore.
Right.
So, yeah, I've been at a gravesite where I've seen sacrifices.
Yeah, I've never seen a cat before till that day. I mean, you hear about people sacrificing cats, and yeah, and it's a morbid thing. But what's going on? Okay, was my internet? Okay, I'm so connected.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a cat or a dog that I seen that was in the picture that I've got from the Witches Circle.
Yeah, there was this one location that we went to that it was really odd because I was later on a show discussing whether like the absolute dark aspect of certain types of pagan rituals and the
can't hear you, Glenn.
Oh, what?
Glenn was she's
it will not play.
Oh, it won't play. No. Oh, darn it. Okay. Well, maybe I can get in a different format. But what it is, it's this figure that walks by once in the background, and it takes its time, like walking real slow, And then the whole time I don't hear, I don't see it, and then it stops and turns around and walks back again, even slower behind us. And then it stops and it kind of does this thing where it crosses its arms and kind of teeters like this, and looks like it turns into like a fixed object, like a tombstone. It's pretty cool. But,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. But the whole time, this thing, we're unaware it's walking back and forth behind us, and yeah, it's just one of those things. It's kind of is an interesting piece of footage. The other one I sent on Facebook was an ad from Liberty Bond, and it was this shadow thing that got in front of a camera that was stationary. It's pretty interesting. But now, can you extract videos from Facebook and play them on the air?
Sometimes you can, depending on what they are.
It might be another format that doesn't work too.
I should have played an MP4 though. You'd think.
I think it's here. Let me take a look at what that format is because I'm not quite 100% sure. It says it's VLC. It's a VLC format.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it'll play.
Yeah, VLC might be. That might be. Yeah, that might be something it won't play. That's what like an internet video files VLC, like anything that you see uploaded on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it might be the wrong type of format for this. I can try to play it on my end one last time here. I can see if it'll.
It looks like she's going in to try to grab it.
Okay. Yeah, it's it told me it can't play it. Custom files. Let's see all files. Okay, let's see what it says here.
Is it actually?
It actually. What's that?
Is it actually saved on your phone?
It's saved on my computer.
Oh.
I'm trying to send it over from my computer here, or I sent it from the computer to her. It says wait. Or next page says you can wait for it to become responsive, or okay, let's wait. Okay, it's trying to play it on my end. We'll see what happens.
Right.
We'll see.
Huh.
Yeah, you never know. I really should have done this. Wait. What's this right here? Let me close this down. Maybe this has something to do with it. Okay. Did that do it? Oh, it's doing something. I'm thinking. Okay. Trust now.
Yep, we lost Chad. I guess we'll have to wait for them to hop back in. Gwen's having technical difficulties and trying to get some video uploaded. And I think Chad was trying to do the same thing. He found some stuff he'd like to show, and waiting for them to come back in here real quick. And hopefully I don't lose connection, because right now where I'm at, we're having kind of a bad storm. So hopefully I don't get booted off as well. So we're going to wait here for a few minutes and see what happens, and definitely see if they can pop back in here. Because I know Chad was trying to download some stuff as well. No, here. So we'll give it a few minutes, see what happens. Hopefully he'll pop back in here in a minute. Here's Gwen, and here comes Chad. Good deal. We're back.
So we locked up and we froze, huh? Yeah, that was no good. Okay. Well, I won't try to do anything from my end now. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking about sacrifices that you've seen at certain locations that you've been on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the Witches Circle, and I got some pictures from there from when me and my old team went there, and I can't tell if it was a cat or a small dog that was sacrificed, but you can see the silhouette of the stain that was on the little concrete slab.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can tell they definitely did something there.
Gwen, are you back? You're back? I don't think. Can you hear her?
Yeah, she can hear, I think.
Can you hear us?
Maybe. Well, no, she's not froze. She's moving.
No, she's moving.
I'm back. It locked me down, and I had to go out.
Us too. It closed everything down. So we'll just skip that for now.
It locked me down. I had to go all the way out.
Leave it to me to send you some file that. Well, yeah, it is. That is what it is. I don't know. Never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases. Yeah, this location that we went to one time, there was rumors of an occult in the area, and it was like a horror movie. It was all foggy out, and it was at night, of course. And there was like this old road that went down around it, and it was an old abandoned like a Victorian house, and pretty neat old house actually. Well, I was walking down through there, and I could see this one tree and it was foggy on top of it, which made it even, more pleasant. Can you hear me okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I went kind of towards that tree, and I tripped over something, and I looked down, and just like something out of a horror movie, there were all these animals that were like been unalived, like everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I was standing in the middle of them, and I'm like, oh, well, that kind of startled me for a second. And some of them were like so bizarre. Like one was, only way I can describe it is if you took the animal and you ever seen like those old cartoons, how they peel their hide off and all their meat off, and it's like a sandwich?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. This one animal, it had like its whole skeleton. If somebody reached in and just plucked it out, it was all intact, and it was like next to it, and it was connected by its tail. So like somebody just peeled it out next to it. I mean, I don't know if I'm describing this properly. It was all intact, all still together. And that's impossible. I mean, nothing can do that. I mean, that we know of. it was just, and something else too. Like none of these animals were this way out in the country. None of them were like ravaged by scavengers either, which is something I've heard happens with
Right.
sacrifices. Like nothing will touch them, and that definitely was the case. And we went back to that location months later, and they were all still there, like untouched. So it was kind of
Wow.
Now I don't know if I ever discussed this. It reminded me of other stuff, but recently we went to this location that was a native site, and there were like remnants of horses that were deceased, but like a lot of them. Did I talk to you about this?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I didn't talk to you about this. Okay. Yeah, there was this location that we went to, and it's a ancient site that has a lot of real bad juju supposed to be hooked to it, and we kept coming across the remains of horses, but we counted like 24 of them within like a mile radius, and they were like wild. They're wild horses that run up there all like everywhere, and they were all skeletalized. It was weird, but they were in different stages of decomposition. You could tell because some of the bones were like they were stained and they smelt, but there's no evidence of like the tissue anywhere. No bullet holes in their head, nothing. And then there was like this big canyon where they had jumped off, obviously, into the canyon, some of them.
Oh, wow. And
it makes me wonder, like, you know, it was really odd. And my buddy, he got a really bad feeling about it. And it was something that I wonder. So I haven't researched a lot into the Native American folklore and like what the legends are, but what would that, I mean, have you heard about anything like that ever? And
you said they went off a cliff? Is that what you said?
They jumped off of a cliff.
It sounds to me like they were running from something.
Well, yeah, that's what it seemed like. But none of these animals, because like, I mean, I thought somebody was shooting them at first, you know, because I was kind of like, man, who the hell's doing this? And then I noticed that there was no bullet holes in any of the skulls, nothing like that. So it was really odd, really odd.
They were running from something.
Yeah.
I wonder if they got spooked by a snake and just took off on a dead run.
Well, they were everywhere. I mean, it's like there's this one area, it's a big circular area, and there were these remains. Like, I mean, once we got up on top where this area is, and I'm pretty sure there's more than that. Just in the area that we walked and explored, there were like a couple dozen of these deceased animals, and it was really it was quite odd. So is there anything out there? Like, I mean, my question is there anything out there that's that dangerous that can harm or possibly kill things that are like in the Native American folklore? Like, is there some kind of spirit, some kind of entity that supposedly does that?
I'll tell you what comes to mind is a skinwalker.
Yeah, now, but that's more of a doctor in medicine with power and everything else, and then they have the ability to shapeshift. Well,
skinwalkers are people that were cannibals.
People that become cannibals, yeah, that they eat human flesh.
Yeah, that's why they're evil, because they ate human flesh. Yeah,
supposedly. Like I said, I don't know.
That would scare the hell out of any creature.
One of the other things that make them evil is they sacrificed one of their family members in order to get power.
Well, that's never a good thing. So, you know, and about these legends like that, there've been some things that I've seen that there's one thing in particular that I don't know what it was like. You know, I really don't put a lot of storing things until I witness something credible, you know, that involves what, you know, it, you know, linked to the subject. But
all right,
we were going to this location one time, and did I ever tell you about the thing that we ran over? This thing that looked like it was some kind of animal that we hit, but there was no evidence of it after we ran it over. Did I ever tell you guys about that?
You did. Yeah, I don't remember the details. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were going to a location, and what's weird is there's kind of a legend linked to this kind of deal with this area, and at the time I didn't realize it, but we're heading up this up the road. We're going pretty fast, you know, we're about 70 or so, and out from the guardrail jumps this thing in front of us, and I remember right before we hit it, it was odd because it looked like kind of looked like a baboon. You know how like a baboon's got the bigger torso and the smaller legs, and but it had a snout like a canine almost, and
Right.
real black, like real dark and shaggy fur. Well, right before we hit it, it reached out kind of like this, and it went to the headlights, and it had fingers. I remember seeing the fingers in the headlight right before we hit it, and we hit it hard, and I felt it roll underneath the car. It got stuck, and then it came out the other side. Well, it ripped the ground effects off of our vehicle, and I turned around and went back. We parked and looking for this, whatever we had hit, because if it was an animal, there would have been some kind of
right.
or hair or something. There wasn't any blood or hair on the car either, which was odd. And I walked back and forth, a couple of times to see, looked over the guardrail, over the edge, see if I could see what this thing was. Never did find anything. Then quite a while later, there was this incident where, not in the same area, but not too far from where I live now, we're staying down this, is pretty remote though. This location where one side of our house was nothing but a field. There was nothing out there. It went up this canyon and stuff, and this is just a bunch of wilderness. Well, me and Jennifer and another buddy of ours is sitting there, and it's probably midnight or so, and we were in an RV, and something got underneath the RV and pushed up on the tip out so hard that it lifted tilted the whole RV upward, which was really odd. So we went out there, me and my buddy did, and we saw eyes out kind of, up the top of this hill behind my place where we were parked. Well, we went up there, and only way I can describe it is it looked like if you picture somebody on all fours, as if they were running away from you on all fours, but they had it looked like it had elbows and things that went up in the air. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute, it has elbows backwards. Well, I've seen one of those.
All up in the air like this, and it kept looking behind us, and that's where you see the eye flash when it looked behind us.
And, I've seen one. Yes.
Back at us, and the thing tried to get our dog, and I forgot about that. Before this happened, Jennifer let our dog out at the time. She's no longer with us. She passed away, but she's out on the porch, kind of talking to me through the door. And which is weird is there was this person that had these claims that these ancient gods, Sumerian gods, were talking to her, and we were kind of making fun of it, saying oh yeah, whole inky, and this and that and that and this, and she said another demon name joking around, and then about that time she screams, and I ran over there, and around the corner came this thing, and it tried to get the dog, and it stopped, and when it stopped, it slid past the porch, and she saw what she looked like. It looked like it had, humanoid arms, but it had hair that hung down at the forearms this long, about a foot and a half.
Oh.
And she could see the hands and stuff, and it reminded me of that thing we ran over.
Could have been the same thing.
Yeah, similar. Fast forward, this thing it pushed up underneath the trailer. We went after it, and it was so far enough ahead of us, we could see it, but we couldn't really. I mean, it was odd. Whatever it was really odd, and it kind of went down into this canyon thing, and every animal, deer, everything went scattering up the other side. They ran from it. You could see them just hauling ass up the hill, and then it kept going. Well, shortly after that, we went up to followed that canyon all the way up to where it met a big rock wall, and then it went further up, and there had been a fire through there. And there's real deep ash, like on the ground. Well, in the ash were these footprints, and we took pictures of them, and they were bizarre. The most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. They looked like humanoid footprints, but they were instead of having like a normal footprint, it was like if somebody turned their foot up on its side. Yeah, kind of like how you picture. There's a movie called 80s cheesy movie called The Howling. You guys ever heard of that? Where that's what the thing looked like. I mean, it had features like that. And what makes the story even more bizarre is there was this woman that, there's some people in our neighborhood that got together for a barbecue, and there was an elderly woman that happened to be over at this person's house when Jennifer was telling the story of what we witnessed. And she broke down and started kind of having a moment where she was recalling something odd, and she told this story about her brother who was into Santeria magic, and he had invoked this thing to kill somebody through some kind of dark ritual, and just the description that Jennifer gave of this thing made her that upset to where she kind of had almost like a meltdown, like some kind of post-traumatic stress from hearing the story. And she said that she told this elaborate story about how this thing was summoned through black magic, and then it went after her and her boyfriend at the time, and her dogs ended up killing it or something. I mean, the story was creepy, extremely creepy.
Hey Gwen, I sent you a picture. See if that's what he's talking about, because that's a chupacabra.
The body shape's kind of the same a little bit.
Mhm.
This thing, it kind of had a front torso like that, but it had the canine looking snout, and it was really shaggy. Like its body was shaggy, like kind of a lot of fur. But as far as like the skinwalker, is that something that exists? Do you think, or you do?
Oh yeah, skinwalkers exist.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think so. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that gnarly backward elbow thing, I've seen one of the, I think the same one several times. Yeah. There's this road that I travel when I go to a certain place out of town.
Like a big insect, like crawling away, kind of.
It's bizarre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really.
I don't like go that road. Don't like it.
My buddy, who saw it traumatized him. He was like, yeah, that was all he ever talked about. Afterwards, seeing whatever this thing was, it was, crawling away from us. But yeah, and it's kind of look over his shoulder, like every once in a while, his eye would reflect off the flashlight whenever it look over his shoulder. It was crazy. But yeah, there's a lot. Like I tell people, just when you think you've seen it all,
there you go. There's more.
You haven't seen it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Those horses. I just keep getting a picture in my head that was a skinwalker that was chasing them, because that will scare the hell out of anybody.
The place had like a very, very oppressive feeling to it too, like that oppressive feeling we talked about. And my buddy, I never even explained to him what that feeling, anything about that type of feeling, hadn't explained anything like that to him. And when he wanted to get out of there, and once that we were back, at my place, he's saying that he felt this feeling that he just needed to get out of there, and that it was a heavy feeling, and he didn't feel right when he was up there, and it was definitely, there's something going on up there, and it's a place that a lot of the natives don't even go. They don't even mess around by.
There's a reason.
Oh yeah, there's a reason, definitely.
Oh, there's a big reason, yeah.
Yeah, so there's like I think we've discussed the missing 911 before, right, on the show.
Yes.
The people that disappear in certain areas, and that's another bizarre phenomenon that that's linked to some kind of supernatural phenomenon for sure.
Explain everybody what you're talking about, though.
Oh, the missing 411 is this. There's a phenomenon that occurs where people vanish without a trace, and it seems to only happen in certain areas, and there has to be certain environmental elements that take place before it happen. Case in point, it has to be near a body of water of some kind. These are things that connect these instances. They're granite has something to do with it. There's a lot of granite in the area. And another incident is when somebody goes missing, there's always a storm that rolls in immediately. And those three things take place. And the disappearance is odd. Like, people, if they're ever found ever again, it's in a location they already looked, and it's in a place where there's strange things happening. Like the remains are in a place where they've already looked several times, and their articles of clothing are found folded neatly.
Wow!
And it just gets more and more bizarre than that. I mean, to where there's obviously something strange going on, and it seems to be in a lot of national parks, which is very that's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's definitely weird if their clothes are all folded neat and they're just sitting there out in the open.
And what's really weird is that Mount Adams, which is near Liberty Bond, the Howling video or audio, he used to walk around the base of Mount Adams. Well, he would find people's clothing folded. It was something commonly he'd find. Is he'd find clothes neatly folded, and he had no idea what that meant. But and there's a lot of people that go missing up there.
Right.
Oh yeah, see, the footprints are bizarre. I mean, I've never seen anything like them. It's
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bizarre.
It didn't get your dog, did it?
No, it missed.
Okay,
but,
good.
I mean, the dog was coming up the stairs just as it came around the corner, and it just, ran around the corner, tried to get her, and stopped, and it kind of slid past the porch. And I came out there right when it was taking off the other direction, and saw the skid marks, heard it scurrying away, heard it like kicking a gravel when it took off. But her reaction is what was interesting, because she just screamed, man. It was blood curdling scream. And but it's weird. Why when they're making fun of all these, these demonic claims this person had? Well, because everybody has demons. You know how it goes. Yeah.
Was the lady linked to anything at the time?
The woman that we were discussing,
mm-hmm.
She very easily could have been. Yeah, very easily.
Sounds like it.
I don't know if for a fact. I didn't investigate it far. Go into the whole matter that far. But yeah, I think there was probably she had some issues. Yeah, definitely. With something she was worshiping the Sumerian god Enki. It was one of the gods she was worshiping, and did a lot of. Anyway, it had a great interest in that deity, and not only that, this guy that was seeing her at the time, he was kind of a friend of mine, and he was saying there was odd things that he witnessed while he was around her that freaked him out, and he wasn't even into the paranormal. He was just like, it was one of those things where he said this weird stuff was going on. So,
well, you got to remember one thing, Chad. All of us that are in the paranormal field, people think that we're a little strange and a little weird to begin with.
Yeah, until something happens to them, and then they're like, "Oh, what is that?"
Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, one time."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's a funny story. There was this guy that we knew, and he always criticized me for what I did, always. And until thought it was nonsense, until he decided to. Him and his girlfriend at the time, they had stayed down at this site called Avery, another native site, very sacred site. And well, he got a hold of me one day, and he's quite shook up about something. And he goes, "Dude, there are these rocks like levitating all like in a horseshoe shape all around our RV." I go, "Really?"
Mm.
So we go down and check this out, and sure enough, there are these. Well, I mean, when I say I got the documentation of this too, this was really bizarre. This whole event. Go down there, and there are these rocks that are. One of them is huge. It's like 300 something pounds, and it's at the tip of this this horseshoe shaped pattern of rocks. They go all the way back. They're floating above the water, but they go all the way back to the lake. And the one rock in the center, and the very tip of it, has like some kind of a face on it. And I got pictures of this. I'm not at all exaggerating this. It was bizarre. Well, he was apologizing for him, thinking this was nonsense. What we do and all this. And well, so we went to investigate this, and some of the stuff that happened. I mean, crazy stuff happened. There was these shadow apparitions that. There were two skeptics with me that night, and they were no longer skeptics after that. This was hilarious. This one guy I'm sitting there talking to this one guy that was a skeptic, and there's this growling sound right behind him, and he's just like, he looks up and he's like, his eyes get about this big, and he's like, well, that was a growl, like looking around, and he wouldn't get very far away from me. Well, I kind of branched off from him, and I hear him screaming. It's no joke. I hear him just screaming like he's being killed, and it's because this shadow thing walked right past him out into the water, and I saw it splashing like it was right on the Columbia River. This sideways.
Oh.
Looked like somebody splashing out in the water that wasn't even there. So he was freaking out about that. there was this voice that kept laughing. This disembodied sound that kept laughing at me whenever I'd say something. And coincidentally, it was the first thing that Jennifer had ever witnessed like that, where I would say something and this sounded like a little girl laughing at me. She's like laughing, giggling, and you could hear it with your ears. And we picked up on audio. That was pretty interesting. And at one point, we're inside of their RV, and something goes around it. It sounded like somebody was pounding, like slugging the side of the RV all the way around, and multiple times. And even as we were leaving, like it was weird as all this stuff happened that night to kind of like keep us there at the location. It's weird, but as we were getting out of there, this scream, this blood curdling screaming from down there where we were, like it was upset because we were leaving, whatever it was. But it was interesting that people were not skeptical anymore. But the pictures of the rock, I got the picture of the one head rock floating there and the horseshoe rocks, and it was bizarre. Like there's like the top 20 things that I've seen that are really bizarre. That was probably one of the top 10 things.
Did you happen to notice that there was a magnetic field around and the rocks?
There didn't seem to be a magnetic field that was super out of the ordinary. There was when something happened, but like I went up to, I was going to kick one of the rocks over, like see if I could push it with my foot, but something just told me. I mean, it's got this terrible feeling about it. I'm like, I don't know. I better just leave this one alone, not disturb it, because there's just something about this. And then I did some research later, and I guess, and that's a sign that there's an evil spirit that doesn't, in native folklore, that doesn't want you there. If they do that, if there's rocks that appear to be floating like that. So somebody got upset, and which is really weird about that location is there is a this book called Gods of the Celilo or whatever that used to be by the Celilo village across from it, and there used to these ancient stories, native stories. Well, there was a water demon. They thought they used to sink their canoes there when they used to go out to this island called Miller Island, Big Island, which we are going to go camping on and investigate.
Jennifer sent me a picture. I'm gonna go get it.
Okay. So it may probably the floating rock. Let's see.
Yeah, she sent a picture of the rock.
Yeah, did she? One of them. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. Really interesting.
See, it makes me wonder if there was like any type of a field around that and any type of a mineral.
You think their helmets have to be, right?
Yeah.
But one thing about it's not something normal that, I mean.
Well, no.
The rock was so big too. It was like probably 300 pounds, big rock.
Yeah, it's definitely not normal for sure, but it makes you wonder.
Well, yeah, I mean, it absolutely probably was. I mean, there's some kind of energy being used here.
All right, I'm gonna just try to show you on my screen.
Okay. Watch nothing work.
Oh, she's glitching.
Not working. Oh, is she freezing up? What?
She's glitching a little bit.
Okay, she's still here. Okay. Man, this thing does not like my footage, huh? Well,
can you see it?
Here it comes.
Here it is. Oh, can you make it bigger? Is there any way to make that bigger? Oh,
no.
Oh, darn. Yeah, you can kind of see the face on it. I mean, it just looks like It's
I can see the face on it.
I mean, it was big. It was so big, it was crazy.
All right, let's see.
Did
you send me something else?
Oh, that's the
no, that was from last time.
That was from last
Let me see
time.
if I can enlarge it.
Yeah, you might try to do that.
That was that painting. Yeah, let me see if I can enlarge it.
Okay.
Yeah, let me try to enlarge it.
But it's it's funny because the whole the people that think we're out of our mind, I guess that was the whole point behind the story. They think we're out of our mind until they need help, and then they don't think we're out of our mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it happens that way. But then again, there'll always be a skeptic until they actually witness it.
No, true, and and there's nothing wrong with being skeptical. That's something that never skeptics bother some people. It doesn't bother me at all because it's like it gets to the point where I used to take skeptics out for fun just to just to shake them up a little bit. But I don't you know, because it's too damaging to them a lot of the time. And you know, it's like, well, you know, if usually people are skeptical because they're afraid of the possibility of things like that existing, and it's too traumatic for them. You know, and like I said, and how many people are really truly skeptical when it comes down to it? You know, trying to convince yourself something ain't real, that's not the same as being skeptical.
True. Yeah. I mean, you got to be pretty open-minded to be able to understand a lot of what we learn and how to take care of it.
To do this work, yeah, sure. Yeah, you got it. You have to literally be open. Yeah, you have to have an open mind. That's to say the least. Yeah, it's just amazing how, you know, it never gets old. You know, you're never going to learn everything there is to learn. You're never going to experience everything there is out there to experience. It's you know, every time I walk into an investigation, I'm mentally prepared to perhaps witness something I've never witnessed before. Yeah, it's exciting to me. I mean, it's great. It's pretty amazing what we do. You know, think about it.
Yeah, like I was telling Thomas last night when he was on my show last night, you know, it takes a special group of people to be able to learn some of the stuff that we learn and to be able to turn around and be able to help people understand what's going on.
Yeah, because most of the time we don't. I mean, if you think about it, we don't even fully understand it. I mean, we can get a good idea, but it's like,
right.
You know, but you know, all in all, it's so this.
All right, there you go.
Oh, there it is. Okay, see how, and it's weird. See how it comes down to a point like that, and it's just sitting on a slant of a rock. That thing is huge, and it's kind of dark, but it looked like I don't know if you can see it. It almost looks like a buffalo's face, like the side profile almost. I don't know if you guys can see that from here. Like the nose illuminated with the sun, and it's just weird.
Weird. Yeah, you see the nose.
Yeah.
Nose.
Yeah, and like the nose. Yep, that's the nose right there.
Can you see the nose?
Yeah. Yep, and the eye. Yeah, it's really odd looking.
There's the nose. There's the eye.
Yep.
And there's the other eye. Yep.
That's right.
Did you say that was actually on Indian ground, though? Do you know if it was on Indian ground?
Yes, it's on Indian ground, yeah. Very sacred spot.
That actually, yeah. That might have to do with the shamans.
Yeah.
Huge rock, though, man. I mean, it was huge. And that's when that I was going to go kick down. I was like, oh, man, I don't know. I don't feel right about this. I better leave that alone, you know.
No, don't mess with rock formation. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so, but when we came back after going, you know, leaving the location for a minute, they'd all fallen down on their own, which is weird. But, and those rocks are all the way back up on the bank, and like I said, a big horseshoe. Yeah. What's that? What? Oh.
They actually had fallen down?
Yeah, they fell down.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. They fell down on their own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. They were there for like 24 hours, and then they'd fallen down.
I would say if you went to go kick that or something, like I said, it's probably wise that you didn't. But
I didn't. No, I mean, I was going to, but then I thought, oh man, I don't know. I just had a weird feeling about it. So
that'd be like messing with some hieroglyphic stuff and not understanding exactly what it is, and finding out what it is later.
My guy told me not to mess with it, you know, because see, I mean,
right.
I'm pretty offensive to whatever's out there. I take a pretty hardcore approach to this phenomenon, and you know, before anybody ever did it on TV, I'll say that out there. You know, I used to get scrutinized for it, and then you know it's okay to do it once people do it on TV, and then it's not okay. You know how it goes. But yeah, but I mean, I've taken a pretty antagonistic approach to dealing with this stuff from the beginning, and it seems to work because you get a reaction out of what you're dealing with, and you get a pretty honest reaction. Because I mean, there's like some method to the madness. It's like, well, if you want to see the intentions of something, make it angry and see what happens. And you'll see the intentions. Yeah. So that's been my method. It's worked so far. So I'm still here. So what happens.
That's not a good method, man.
That happens. You know? Well, you know, no.
we all got different approaches on how we do things, and sometimes.
But I'm not like when I go to somebody's residence, I'm not reckless like that. I don't do things that are going to make things worse. But if I want to see how nasty something is I'm dealing with, I do my best to make it angry. Because
that's going to backfire on you one day.
Oh, it's has a few repercussions over the years.
A few? I know of some. That's a lot more than a few.
Well, but I mean, nothing too serious. I mean, it's at the end of the day, I think that you have to be very confident in your ability to handle the situation.
Right.
Based on, I think I look at it like this. Like I said, I don't go. I said this a lot. I don't go to church, but I believe in God 100%. I believe that He carries a bigger stick than whatever's out there, and so far it seems to be true. So, that's pretty much the foundation of my personal beliefs and things. And I've seen a lot. I've seen things dissipate immediately when biblical provocation is used on them, and it seems to work 100%. Yes. So whatever these things are, they must understand who God is and what God is, and they don't want to mess with him. So I think that's a good wingman to fall back on. When it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah. And then besides, I just work here anyway, so I don't know.
Work here. Oh.
That's my explanation. I just work here.
You mean we all work in the field?
Yeah, just work here. Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth of it. We're all learning here. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure everybody, we've all been a part of helping people, whether it's a small part or just involved in it at all, is a good thing it's a good feeling to have at the end of the day, and you feel like
it is.
Yeah, and on to the next, So I don't feel like a complete failure at it, I feel like I had a small part in helping some people out, and learning a lot, and it's been an exciting journey. It has really been very exciting, and I can imagine.
Yeah. You definitely get the excitement. You get the thrill. You get the adrenaline rush, depending on what the circumstances is. That's
it. Yeah. Well, that's what I try to tell people. I'm like, well, it's more scary. It's like a rush of, it's like a, it's exciting. It's not really scary. You don't really.
Some things are, but most of the time it's very.
Well, there's some. Yeah, there can be some alarming things happen.
There are few and far between that really will scare the shit out of you.
True.
But then you get creepy, you get evidence, you help people, and that's what it's about.
Well, yeah, no, and helping people understand, that there is something out there too. We're all kind of trying to prove that, we're not out of our minds here, and I think we've done that. I think we've surpassed that.
Depends on who you ask. I tell you.
I've got an archive of, I don't even know how many gigabytes, but it's a huge archive.
I would love to get a hold of that archive one day, because you have some serious stuff. Yeah.
There's enough evidence out there that proves that we're not out of our.
Oh, just sit. Okay, let me go get them. Hang on, let me go get them.
Oh, you're gonna play okay. Oh, she found the footprints. Okay. Yeah, there's some weird. Like I tell people when they find out I do this, like, well, you're a ghost hunter. I'm like, well, yeah. And they're like, well, whether they believe in this stuff or not. I'm like, well, I tell you this, there is something out there.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. No doubt about it. It's just, we're trying to get to the bottom.
Especially when you pull footage off your phone and it was live when you did it, when you're videoing it, and you're showing them what you encountered. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and it's, it's great. It's great when you have stuff, and that's why these live, I want to set up some live feeds during investigations, because some wild stuff happens, and it'd be kind of interesting to hear everybody's opinion of what's going on.
Oh yeah,
while it happens in real time. It's fun, and we've done it before with some other other shows that we've been on, but it was always fun. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
we were a lot of fun, you know.
We were at a location called Steel Dam, and after we went off the air, we actually got more activity after we went off the air than we did when we were on the air. So we're definitely going to go back there.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think the weekend after I come back, May 10th.
And those active locations like that, it's never it's always the locations that aren't really, you know, on the map that seem to be really, really active.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, you know. See what we got here. Well, that's. Oh, somebody shared desktop. I think.
Can you guys see it?
I can't see it. No, I don't see. We see your desktop.
Well, shoot.
We don't see the. I think you actually clicked on the share desktop option.
Okay. Let me go back and do it again.
Do you see the picture, Gwen? Did you see it?
Yeah. Hold on just a minute. I'm trying to share it. It's there. There it is.
Okay. Let's see what pops up. So I think what you clicked was the share desktop option, I think, but before. Does anybody else see it? I don't see it.
May take a second or two.
All right. Seems like it does.
Well.
Oh, you know, we gotta at least expect something not to work right. I mean we gotta. That's to be expected by now. I mean, it's just something I expect. I mean, if I can get in the studio and things.
Is it
rolling,
there?
No, not on my end.
Oh, I don't see it either.
All right, one more time, and you guys can. I'm trying.
No, you know, I appreciate everything, guys, and you know, and trust me, I have some really good ideas for some stuff that's coming up. That we're gonna invest some time in. Oh,
you see it now?
There's some. Oh yeah, there we go. Now zoom in on those things. I don't know if you can. The one foot there,
There's a footprint for sure.
Right, and then up from there. Yeah,
then you can tell.
I don't know.
There, yeah.
It didn't look like the human foot. I mean, they didn't look like human footprints at all. They were odd looking.
Let's see. Hold on.
And there's something in the middle of nowhere. There's gonna be nobody with bare feet walking around up there. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, and then look at the one above it, right?
That's
above
the footprint for sure.
Yeah, and then you look at this one. See how it's different size and everything? Like weird. And then that one doesn't even have a toe print. But they were going all the way up this canyon. It was full.
See, that one's different.
Yeah. And they weren't like huge. They're probably like maybe 6-7 inches long, probably. Not huge, but just really odd. Yeah, that one you can see the toes and everything there on that one. And it's in a spot. There's not going to be anybody up there.
Now this looks like it may be.
That might have been another. Yeah. And on the way this ash was too, it was still dry and like the wind was blowing them around, and these footprints didn't stick around long. They were
that looks like it could have been in the past, like
something coming out of there. You mean? And then coming down and back out, which very easily, but. Whatever made these footprints, it wasn't far ahead of us because they didn't stick around long. The wind blew the ash over top of them, and they were gone, you know, in no time at all. Pretty odd, yeah. And the word that was like
very
way
interesting.
Up, way up this canyon, and just an odd place for somebody to have their shoes off. And that's where this thing went too. Like when we were watching it go down into the one canyon, come up, it was coming up right at the base of the canyon that went up there. So whatever this thing was coming out of there, and so it was on. And we were the only ones that had sightings of this thing. Coming to find out, like there were other people in the area that had sighted this.
Oh,
thing. Thought it was a large dog or something that was menacing different people, but there was definitely like a rash of sightings of this thing that happened around the same time.
Right.
So what that was, who knows? But it was odd. It was not normal. I mean, it was very, very strange. And but about the local legend of where we hit the one, ran over whatever this thing was. There was a legend of the Doofer werewolf, believe it or not, like in this town, the little town of Doofer was a ghost town, like right out. Right, this is right before that. The town, like a mile outside of it, and it's like there's a legend of a werewolf. So, I mean, I'm not really a big believer in the werewolf thing, but it's kind of weird that there was a legend kind of like that involved something of that nature. And we got
does the town still exist?
Yeah. There's a few people live there. A few people, and I remember when I was doing research on legends of the local area here. I remember reading up on the Doofer werewolf, some of the sightings, and now now it's known as there's a lot of dogman sightings, here and there, but
right.
Which is something, like I said, I've never really encountered anything that I thought, was something like that, but that's the closest thing, that could have been something weird. Yeah. So, what's out there, there's some out there, guys. So anybody watching, so don't think, there's like I said before, monsters are real.
They are.
They're out there.
Yeah, definitely the fairy tales that we were told that didn't exist. Some do.
Yeah, they do. They're based on something, it sounds like. I'd like to go to Ireland or Scotland and investigate some of those folklore.
Don't even say Scotland, because that is my dream. That is my dream.
I always want to go over there and stomp around. Yeah, see what.
Yes, that is my dream.
Up in the night over there, because that's where all this. That's where this ancient evil supposedly lives and started.
Yep.
I'd like to go in and irritate that and see what happens. Just for fun.
Just for fun. Just for fun.
Okay, yeah. So,
Well, I will film you. You can pay for it. I'll film you. There you go.
Well,
it's a deal.
We got to make that happen, one of these days.
That would be awesome.
At the very least, it would be entertaining, So,
yes, it would.
Yeah.
Watch to see who pushes Chad tonight on. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see what kind of it's somebody's got to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, sorry about the no notice on the show, but it's just been, of course, a crazy hectic time, and
So Chad is going to start calling me every Thursday for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Just for 5 minutes. That's all I need. 5 minutes. Or if he checks his messages.
Okay, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Just 5 minutes.
Oh man. No rest.
Does he have a guest that he would like?
Well, you've been really, really good at every guest has been really interesting in my opinion. I mean, had great conversations with all of them. You said you had some people that you wanted to line up for interviews. Yeah.
Well, we have people from the Paracons that we're going to be going to, and some that we're just supporting that we won't be going to. So my question, I do have one for you.
Sure.
So, okay, Sean, where's the what's the town that the Paranormal Rockdown's in?
It's in Wisconsin. It's in Broadhead Manor. Broadhead, Wisconsin.
It's too far. Wisconsin. I was going to say, I wish you guys were kind of close. You guys could come up there.
That would be great. And is this something they have every year?
This is actually the first year they're having it at Broadhead. I think I think this is the first big year they're having it at Broadhead.
What's the date on that?
July 17th, 18th, something like that.
I mean, are tickets still available and stuff? I mean, can you still get?
I'm sure I could probably get my hands on some if we wanted to go.
Because me and him are going.
I mean, that's out there a ways. July is quite a ways away, so there's. I mean, we can see what we can do.
That would be awesome for us all to go.
Yeah, we should see. I thought this was just right around the corner.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get together and we'll talk about that.
We'll
talk about
it.
Remember, Thursdays.
Thursday, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. And just answer your messages. I'm gonna give you hell. I have
That's
to,
okay.
but yeah, we're gonna have a surprise guest next week. I don't know who. But if you have a request or somebody that you have seen on one of our posters or something,
okay,
you tell me. I'll try to get them.
Sure. I mean, like I said, you're very, very good at picking people because they've all been outstanding people. Great.
Now he has helped me too. He's helped me.
Well, Sean, yeah, he's great, man. I mean, we've always had good conversations. Every conversation has been good with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we kind of it's fun. And it would be fun to just meet up in person and go check the place out. That'd be great.
That would be awesome. We would have a great time.
It was a real fun to start there. Anyhow, well, is it time to close out here? Should I close out?
Yeah, it's pretty much time. So why don't you tell everybody good night?
For those who view it, while it's live or in the future, thank you for viewing. Of course, my great producer here, great lady Gwen. She's always putting up with my shenanigans and
shenanigans. Yeah, I call it herding cats. Yeah,
there you go, herding cats. But whatever it is, it's not good. Now, thank you for viewing. Thank you for joining us. And next week be a surprise guest. There'll be something going on. We guarantee that. We don't know what. Neither do I. So, anyways, and thank you, Sean, for being here.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime.
Thank you.
And until next time, everybody have a good night. And don't let the boogeyman get you. Don't let him get you. Okay, he's real.
You're trying to scare somebody. Okay.
Have a great night, everyone.